Hello?
Hey.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
You wanna go camping?
Sure do.
Alright, let's go.
Let's go.
Rainy days don't seem so wet. Stormy nights don't stay. From the moment that we met, you were worth the wait. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know. Talk for hours and never slept. Two silhouettes.
This weekend we're at the Great Sand Dunes National Park. Y'all hop in, come go with us. This is gonna be a first for me.
From the horizon to the place we met. Oh, this could be the best thing that I'll ever know.
Well, thanks for coming along with us. This is our first outing of the year with the Palomino. And man, it did get dirty. It was in hibernation for several months because of the winter, and I don't like really camping in the winter and just sitting in there. You know what, it's snowing outside, can't do anything. So we ended up tarping it and doing other things like hiking and going on little adventures like that. But being it's the first time we've had the camper out this year, it is a little bit of a struggle because you never can remember what all's already in there and what you've taken out. So you overpack, way overpack, just to make sure you got everything. Plus we got to make sure none of the lines are busted, make sure everything still works. And yeah, so this is kind of an experimental weekend, but what a great place to do it here at the Great Sand Dunes National Park. And this is our first time down in this area, and I can already tell you it's beautiful. It's about 3.5 hours away from where we live, so it's not going to be an every weekend deal, that's for sure. We're in Loop 1, site number 33, and I could have swore when I booked this 6 months ago that it was a back end, but it's a pull-off just right off the road. You know, fingers crossed that it's not a lot of traffic here tonight. And one more quick thing before I have to get back to work or she's gonna start yelling at me. You know, we all have bucket lists, and it's kind of strange if you look at my bucket list compared to other people's. I got some weird stuff on there, and one of them is sand surfing or sandboarding, whatever. So yes, I rented a sandboard for the weekend, and that is what I'm going to do all day tomorrow. Now we'll see if I got to be on crutches on Monday or not, or if I can even move on Sunday morning with my back hurting. But this is going to be awesome, I can tell you that. I mean, just even though I've watched so many YouTube videos, I think I'm an expert on sandboarding. I guarantee you that I'm going to bite it quite a few times. But instead of renting one of the stand-up boards, the lady up there at the center, she asked me about my knees, and I told her they're not all that great, and so she didn't let me rent one of them. So now I've got a sit-down board, you know, like one of those old people. I think I fit in that category. I think that right there will keep me from damaging myself too bad. But what's funny is when she said, when you get ready to stop, don't put your feet down, just roll off the board and bite the sand. And I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be fun, I can tell you that. But anyway, we're gonna finally get this thing unpacked and repacked and get everything ready to go for the weekend. Man, I've been looking forward to this for a while. That winter was long. And what'd you think about that swing away hitch that I installed? That was sexy, wasn't it? It was well worth the money. Other than that, I'm gonna get going. What do you need from me?
I need to know if you're ever going to use this.
Well, I was gonna do that catfishing, but no, we can throw it away. I'm never gonna go catfishing up here. All right, after an exhausting hour or so, we finally got the camper unloaded, cleaned, and reloaded. Let's go take a look. You know, I've been missing the Palomino. Just something about it. You know, I just love being in it. I love the space and just love being out of the apartment. I guess that's probably why I like it so much. I don't know what the plan is for the rest of the day today. If that wind doesn't stop, we ain't gonna be able to cook outside, that's for sure. Even though it's 68 degrees, the wind coming off the top of the mountains with all that snow on there, that wind's kind of chilly, so hence the jacket. Take a look at these sand dunes, just amazing. They sure are a lot bigger in person than they are on the internet, that's for sure. Even though this campsite's right next to the road right here, it's in a pretty good location. There's a trail that walks you straight over to the sand dunes from here. You got the bathrooms right behind us, and you have the dumpsters just right up the road. So everything's pretty close. I just don't know how this road's gonna be tonight, so we'll find out. You know, it's funny, I bought these endurance EDs about 6 years ago for spotting elk. And here I am at the sand dune spotting people. Man, they are just all over it. It's amazing how steep that is. Well, that's gonna be us tomorrow. I ain't gonna do it today. It's already 3:30, almost 4 o'clock. And it's a half-mile walk just to get out to the sand dunes themselves. And they said it's a lot harder to walk on, especially trying to go up the hills. I've never had to walk on before, but I've walked on beaches. So for every 2 steps you take, you slide back 1. This is gonna be awesome. Well, we had every intention of cooking outside tonight, but that wind is blowing 20 to 25 miles an hour, and it's cold. My goodness, I can't even feel my hands. So instead, we're going to improvise, and we're going to try to find a way to cook the food that we were going to grill in here on this. Even though it's not exactly how we had it pictured tonight, we're going to make it work. This was supposed to be what, like a layered and then put on the BioLite and kind of cook like that?
Yes.
The funny thing is, just as soon as we got done cooking, the sun came out and now the wind's dying down a little bit. But that's okay. We're gonna eat in here and enjoy our evening. We also have a little dessert surprise we're going to be doing here in just a few minutes.
Slap that on top. Thank you. Those are yours.
Really good. That's really good. Well, that's about it for this evening. Man, I wish we could have spent a little bit more time outside. I really wanted to check out the stars and everything. This is a dark sky area, and I was really wanting to get some shots of the Milky Way, but Just ain't gonna happen tonight with all this cloud cover and wind and all that. So we'll worry about that tomorrow night. And if we get up, we get up. We don't, we don't. No big deal. I think that's gonna wrap it up, and I guess I'll see you for coffee in the morning. Good Saturday morning. Thanks for joining me for coffee. The good news is the wind finally died down around midnight or so. Turned out to be a beautiful night. It didn't get near as cold as they said it was. It was supposed to be 35 this morning, so we only got to 40, which is very exciting. If you fast forward through the first, I don't blame you, but I'm going to give you a recap. So today is going to be full of adventures. We rented a sandboard, which is completely different than a snowboard apparently, and we're fixing to go out here to these big sand dunes, and I'm gonna make a fool out of myself more than once. One of the downfalls is it's still not camping season yet, so they haven't turned on their outdoor showers or anything like that. We do have a lot of those big shower wipes, you know, for your whole body and things. I just don't know if it's going to get all the sand out of it. So I think we're going to be finding sand in this camper for months to come after this weekend. It's going to be fun though. Well, I'm not going to sit here and bore you with a bunch of small talk. I'm going to finish this cup of coffee, get my cameras ready, and I think we're going to head on out there. Y'all don't want to miss this.
Start my weekend out right. Gonna live it up in my downtown. I got a new book and it's worth to look just right.
You know what's funny is when I booked this 6 months ago and I was looking on Google, we were camped right next to the trail, and it looked like we just walked a little short distance to get to the dunes. Well, that's a good half mile to 3/4 of a mile to get to the first one. So it's a nice little hike to get here in sand. Now I read the website and they said that to wear your normal hiking boots. But talking to the park ranger last night, she said that no grip flip-flops with socks.
The slides.
Slides, whatever that is, with socks was the way to go, because they don't dig in, they just kind of float on top of the sand. Either way, we picked out a spot that we're going to try to walk to. It's kind of up and to the right of where everybody else is hiking and boarding. We'll see if we can even get there. And we're not going to do nothing crazy today. We're not going to do the double black diamonds. I don't know. We might. We're almost to the dunes now. Check this out. Just incredible, isn't it? So we're walking across the dry riverbed right now. Whenever the snow melts up in the high mountain, this becomes a flowing river. This is where a lot of people come during the summertime to float it with the little rafts, but it's not been about 6 inches deep in most places. It's pretty cool though.
Good morning. So we've made it to our first sand dune, as you can see, the one that he is going to go down. I'm gonna go ahead and let him climb up. Yeah, and I'm going to see how he does before I decide. So it is a very steep climb. I don't know if y'all can tell or not, but it is very steep. So him is doing his best right now. As you can see, him made it all the way up. He's taking a little break. He's gonna come on down and I'm gonna give y'all a good view of that, I hope. All right, here we go, but I'm thinking him may be questioning life's choices right now. So here we go.
Go ahead. Check that one off the list, but that climb to the top of that thing, that was no joke. We're gonna find something that's less steep. That way I ain't gotta hit the brakes so hard. Anyway, on to the next one. Pick your hands up. I don't care how in shape you think you are. This right here is something. My goodness. If this don't get me in shape for Guadalupe Peak, I don't know what will.
Holy crap, it's cold.
You know, that's like walking through ice water right there. Good gosh. Woo, that's cold. I don't know if you can hear me from this wind, but we had 4 hours slotted to come out and do all this sandboarding. I think we're an hour in and we're done. Maybe an hour and a half. Woo! Talk about your lungs burning. Good night. That's really all I wanted to do anyway. I just wanted to check it off the bucket list and say I did it. And just a couple old people out here having fun. We ain't the only ones though. Other than that, I'm gonna get my feet dried off and get back to camp, and we're gonna go for a bike ride.
Okay, I know that he said we were done. He's not done. He's decided on one that looks kind of terrifying if you ask me, but it's cool. He's got this. Let's do it. Okay.
Okay, now we're done. Just couldn't pass that up. That was probably the funnest one yet. Now the long hike back to the camper. You know, it's really cool to be able to still get out and do stuff like this at our age and in our condition, you might say, with bad knees and backs and necks and all that good stuff. I think the key element is knowing your limits and not being afraid of them. You know, just getting yourself right up to the edge of it. And I think that's where the most fun is. Yeah, we're gonna be sore tomorrow. And I'll correct myself, if we weren't out there just for an hour and a half, we were out there for a little over 2 hours. It just seemed like it was quicker than what it was. And I want to tell you, that was something. Is that an every weekend thing? I guarantee you that if I did, I'd be in the best shape of my life. I'd be able to run a marathon, but no, it's just not gonna happen. It's just too far away. I also think the thought is right before you think you're having a heart attack, that's when you got to stop and get a breath of air and let your heart rate go down a little bit and then continue on. I mean, if somebody's out there judging you, they got worse problems than you do, that's for sure. I mean, you're not in a race. But I felt confident in what we did, and I really enjoyed it. I think we're gonna rest up for a little bit and get a protein bar and get on the bikes and head to the visitor center. They said it's really neat, so we look forward to that. You know, even though I had that protein bar, it's rocking on the afternoon now, and I am hungry, so I got me some macaroni salad. There's just no reason to bring so much stuff for lunch and dirty up a bunch of dishes when it's just that instant. The temperature out here says it's 83 degrees, and I think that's a lie. As soon as the sun goes behind the clouds, I'm gonna tell you, man, it gets cold. And that wind coming off the mountains, like I was talking about yesterday, I bet you the wind chills, I don't know, in the upper 50s, lower 60s. But I'm gonna sit out here and get some of this sun on these translucent legs of mine. If you ever get out this way, I highly recommend going to that visitor center. It was really neat. There were so many people in there, I couldn't even begin to bring the GoPro out and video it. But I'm telling you, it's well worth the visit, and they got a lot of good stuff in there. Oh, and there's one more thing. We're sitting at about 8,500 feet right now, elevation. And if you come out this way, make sure you double the amount of water that you think you're gonna need. One case ain't gonna do it. Man, you blow through that water and chapstick. We did a brief rest back at camp, and we're back at it now. We're on the Dunes Overlook Trail. It's 11 miles, but we're not going that far. We're only going the 1 mile up to the overlook and then turn around and come back. You know, I probably could have stayed at camp and kicked my feet up and took a nap, but you know, we've been sedentary for all winter long pretty much. And even though it's still windy today, it's just too good of weather to just be sitting around doing nothing. I'd really come out and look at these views. I don't think I'm ready to turn back yet, so we're going to keep going just a little bit further and see if we can get some better views. Well, I really wasn't expecting this. We got a big river crossing right here. As long as we can keep our feet dry, we're pretty good. So here we go. Whew, done that one. Fantastic.
Let me catch my breath before you start recording.
I'm already recording. We finally made it to the summit of this little hill, and the overlook is just amazing. I'm gonna sit here for a little bit. Check this out. Yeah, it's amazing. She said it looks like a painting, and I completely agree. The different contours and the way the shade hits that sand like that, it's truly awesome. Man, what a pretty hike. That was really nice. It was challenging, but it was nice. Unfortunately, this wind is blowing again 15-20 miles an hour, and I don't know if we're going to be able to have a fire tonight and cook or what, but we're going to give it a little bit and see if this lies down a little. But it didn't lie down until about midnight last night, so we may not be able to do anything. May just be able to eat snacks. Well, that's a chance you take. The sun's out, but the wind hadn't quit blowing. So we just made up our mind and we got hungry. There's no reason to even try to fight it anymore. So what we got on the stove now is a one-pot meal. Check this out. Potato, sausage, onion, topping with a little bit of queso.
Bell pepper. There's 4. And honestly, I prefer you say that this was actually supposed to go in this pan on the grill.
Right, let's do that real quick. And all that is supposed to go into this pan out on the bio lot. But again, we're just not going to do it. And if you're wondering what's all in it, you got some sausage, bell peppers, you got some onion, you have little bitty Yukon potato things, and barbecue sauce can go on the top of it. Then you can add cheese at the top of that. I mean, it's really a cool little meal. It's a little, like I said, it's a one-pot meal. It's supposed to go in these deals, but oh well.
It's hot.
That's good. And I can tell you, after we got our bellies full with that good dinner, we got tired. We exerted a lot of energy today, so but it was fun. And it was beautiful too. Well, I think we're gonna get to bed and call this one done. I guess I'll see you in the morning for some more coffee. Well, good Sunday morning. Unfortunately, the time has come. We have to start packing everything up. You know, we looked so forward to this weekend for so long, sitting in the apartment with 2 foot of snow covering the ground or just too cold to get out. And the first camping trip, you know, is always the hardest because you got to pack so much stuff to repack your camper. And, you know, when we first got here, we completely cleaned the camper out and cleaned it, put everything back in. We brought way too much stuff. The weather didn't cooperate with us, so we had to cook inside because we were really wanting to cook out over an open fire for our first time out. But, you know, that's the chance you take. You know, another thing is we are in a national park. And there is a tremendous amount of people here, and being kind of secluded in your own little world for several months through the winter, and then all of a sudden get thrown into vast amount of people, it took a little bit of patience, I can tell you that. You know that going into it, so you try to be as patient as possible. And everybody's here to have a good time. Anytime that you have natural, phenomenal wonders like this and the beauty that's here, you know, you're gonna have people. So you have to keep that in mind before you come out. Well, in the end, we did get out. We got the camper ready to go for the rest of the season. Now, the funny thing is we don't put it back on for another 3 more weeks. Next weekend, I'll be in Hays, Kansas. I'm officiating one of my niece's weddings out there. So that's gonna be fun. And then the weekend after that is something I haven't really ever done yet, and that's backpacking into a place and spending the weekend and going fishing. It's either gonna end up being horrible or it's gonna turn out to be an amazing time. Not gonna know until we get out there. But saying all that, I hope y'all enjoyed the great Sand Dunes National Park. I know we sure did. Will we be back? Probably not this year. If we do come back, there's a little place right up the road called Zeppa Falls. And we're gonna probably go up there next year and camp out and play in the river and hike back up into the falls. And that's supposed to be just an amazing time. But I appreciate you staying with us and enjoying this beautiful landscape that we got to play in all weekend. So always remember, leave it better than you found it. And if I don't see you on the trail, I'll see you down the road.